have good FBI agents like Robert Wright and others who are like, there's a specific plan to attack, fly planes in the buildings, they're in simulators, all this is happening, this is going on, and they're told, shut up or you're fired. Then they go public, you'll be arrested under national security if you tell anyone else what you've seen or heard. So see, there's even more evidence. People always say, the government couldn't carry something out like this, it's too big, people find out, people leak, people speak out. They have, ladies and gentlemen. People have spoken up. They have gotten involved. They have talked about what's happening. The evidence is there. We know the reality. We know the truth. And now it's up to us to go out and explain that to people, to show them the evidence, to educate them. So we have the 9/11 hijackers being U.S. government agents by every yardstick. And there's a whole bunch of other points to this that add to this cornucopia. Actor James Woods, flying on American Airlines from New York out to California. I believe they stopped in Phoenix. And he's watching Muhammad Ali and these three other guys get up and act like they're going to take over the cockpit, doing all this. It's really just a drill. Supposed hijackers thought they were taking part in live action drills. The Navy SEALs do this, others do this. It's where they practice taking over an embassy or the Capitol or a base, and they test security that way. You always hear about the BATF or the air marshals or others will try to sneak through a bomb onto a plane, a fake bomb. These guys thought they were doing that, from every piece of evidence we've got. But James Woods on this plane, these guys are about to hijack this plane. So he gets off and he says, listen, those guys are training for hijacking, it's a problem. They hold the flight, the FBI shows up and they go, he's on record. Hey, Mr. Woods, national security, shut up or you're going to be arrested. Shut up! You're supposed to be like the rest of the sheep and not notice what's just happened here. So think about that. And there's point after point after point after point after point where these guys were working for these black ops squads. These guys are patsies. They're being set up. They're being told, you go here at this time, and then they take the fall for it. Just like Ahmad Salam, hired by the CIA and the FBI, Egyptian security force agent, he figured it out a few days before and went in with a bug and got over 10 hours of audio of them all admitting this. Well, we're going to let the bombing go forward, so you just pull out, okay? You just don't worry about it. And the New York Times even published it once. It's on CBS, ABC Nightly News. I even have the clips. And it's just kind of forgotten about. Okay, that's what happened. Big deal, let's move on. Again, do any of you feel safe having a government that cooks bombs and sets people up and hijacks jets by remote control and flies them into buildings? No! I mean, seriously, again, these are the people that are telling us they're taking good care of us. These are the people that are telling us that we'll just give up our freedoms and let them put us in these shackles and get in the back of the car with them, everything's going to be okay. It's like Ted Bundy. Hey, honey, you're a hitchhiker. You want to ride? Let me just, okay, I got you in the car. I put a knife to your throat. Put these handcuffs on, and then I'll be nice to you. No, we got to attack him and try to get out the door and bite him whenever you have to. And see, that's all I'm doing. I'm in the car with the, with the serial killer and saying, put the handcuffs on, and I'm like, no, I'm not, bam. I mean, it's really pretty simple. It's like, man, Alex, you got a lot of courage. No, I don't. I'm in the back of the car with the serial killer because this whole country's been put in the back with him. And I'm going, this is a serial killer, and I'm trying to fight him and get out of the back of the car. Really? Out of fight. I'm not going to lay there and squeal like a rabbit. They're not going to bite chunks out of my hind end, folks. I'm going to, like Ted Bundy likes to do, or John Wayne Gacy and the rest of them, I'm going to fight. I'm going to kick like a mule, snap like a crocodile. The words of Johnny Cash. Seriously. I mean, we're going to go down, let's go down swinging. But historically, statistically, common sense, precedent shows, if we fight like the devil, we're going to kick their ass! Yeah! One of the other key areas of 9/11 that needs to be looked at is General Mahmoud Ahmad, the head of Pakistani intelligence, brought into power when our government effected a coup d'etat, what was it, in 2000 in Pakistan. Our government helped give them the bomb, AQ Khan Laboratories, set them up. Not worried about them, folks, only worried about Iran. They had a bunch of nukes that could hit us. Set them up, put Mahmoud Ahmad in his intelligence, put in Musharraf as their president, military dictator. They need to funnel some money to so-called decoys. This guy admittedly wires $100,000 months before 9/11 to Muhammad Atta. And he's only been to the U.S. once in his life. Years ago, when he got CIA training, it was in the 80s. He's back, though, for the second trip in his life. And he meets that week with Porter Goss, head of House Intelligence. He meets with Senator Graham from Florida, Bob Graham, Intelligence Chief of the Senate. He meets with George Bush before. He meets with Tenet days before. He's having breakfast with some of these guys there at the Capitol on 9/11. An aide walks into the Washington Post and says the second tower's been hit, and they turn and smile and say, "We know." But what's George Bush Sr. doing at the very same time? He's meeting the Ritz-Carlton in D.C. at an emergency meeting of the Carlyle Group. I'm with the Queen of England, the Bin Ladens, and the Bushes. Church, some of the majority owners, the London Guardian. And Bush Sr.'s at the head table with the Bin Ladens. They're making a lot of deals on this big day. At the same day, out in Moffett Air Force Base, starting at 7 a.m., even before the attack, there's over 100 top CEOs meeting with Warren Buffett in Nebraska, and Bush flies there later that afternoon for a secret meeting in an underground bunker. It's no big deal, though. Everything's fine. So a lot of these CEOs, others aren't brought in fully. A lot of them already are dirty and involved in bad stuff, and they gave him some BS story about it at that point. A lot of these CEOs actually were working in the towers and were told to come to a special meeting just a week before because the president wanted to talk to them. You were spared. You do as we say now. You weren't in the buildings, were you? This is all on record. But going back to General Muhammad, going back to him, you have this guy wiring $100,000 on record to Muhammad Atta, and the Congressional 9/11 whitewash, not the separate King Commission, they come out and they say, who funded isn't important, and we're not going to investigate it. You'd want to think you'd look at the money. So again, evidence after evidence after evidence right in front of us, piling up almost to infinity. What do we do about this? How do we stop new attacks? How do we stop the military-industrial complex from staging more events to kind of smokescreen what's happening with the 9/11 Truth Movement, and also supercharge the invasion of Iran, Syria, and the 61 other countries on the PNAC hit list? How do we do that? What we're doing here today, and I want to give you the good news, and I want you to understand that if I'm doing anything, I'm downplaying this, because there's no way to describe how many people are awake. I get here Wednesday afternoon, and I go in to the hotel, and I go into the bar, and I get something to eat, and I'm sitting there, and I say to the bartender who's smiling at me, nice lady, I say, you know, I hear a conference is coming up. What have you heard about it? I just want to get her take on it. She goes, you know all about it, Alex Jones. I'm a big fan. and then I come back at night, I'm drinking a beer, and both bartenders are fans and know all about the New World Order, 9/11, saw the films years ago. And I'm getting stopped by the staff, I'm getting stopped by the bellhops, I'm getting stopped by the police I see in here, I got stopped by an LAPD cop going to the restroom at LAX when I came in, talking to other police officers, off-duty police officers that are here tonight. Their kids are awake, they're awake, they know what's going on. They know. Selling snow cones in hell. Or, you know, giving a life raft to a drowning man. He isn't refusing it. People, yeah, we have a lot of public school teachers here. I've talked to 3 or 4 of them who teach in his courses. We've got a lot of college professors here who teach it. I mean, listen, going back, I've been on the air radio 12 years now. Going back, local Austin radio, you know, hot shot talk FM radio, 10 phone lines. Half of them disagree with me on average, always. And 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 2 out of 10. The syndicated show. I'm begging people to call and disagree on stations all over the country. They even put me on these neocon stations. The people, well, no, I understand. No, it makes sense. I'm just able to talk to them. We can be programmed because they already know the